Hello and welcome to my morning report analysis videos on Tuesday 24th of July with me, Richard Perrin, market analyst at Hantec Markets. We've got a fairly sort of stable, steady open today, nothing too drastic in terms of market moves. We've seen a slight improvement in risk appetite from yesterday. We saw overnight some decent earnings from Alphabet and Wall Street closing higher. Futures on Wall Street also sort of pretty much higher as well. And we've also had a move by the PBOC, the People's Bank of China, to inject $74 billion worth of liquidity into the system. That's also going to help to sort of improve risk appetite generally. And that's what we've sort of seen on equity markets in Europe today. So yeah, you've not really got a great deal of direction, really. There's a slight element of outperformance still coming through the yen. Which had a bit of a bounce around yesterday, but yes, is against the dollar. But generally speaking, against other forex majors, it is still strengthening. Yeah, what we've seen is this choppy sort of nature of the move on the dollar starting to materialise. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out, really, having had that old uptrend broken. The market's just sort of playing around in a fairly choppy way. But generally speaking, we're not getting too much direction today. Although, having said that, just in the last few minutes, we have seen the DAX just jumping higher and FTSE taking off with it. So, yeah, we are starting to see some equity market moves to the upside. So, what are we looking forward to today? It is generally speaking the flash PMIs, and we've had Eurozone coming in a touch disappointingly, minus 0.5 on the composite, or a negative surprise, I should say, down to 54.3. But the German data has been pretty positive on the composite, although France wasn't all that. And looking towards the US this afternoon, we've got a broadly sort of flat look to the PMIs in the US. But the key factor will be how the sort of forward-looking PMIs start to take account of the trade tariffs and whether they start to drag on growth going forward. So yeah, already we've seen Japanese Nikkei manufacturing PMI coming in well below last month, and also, as I said, the Eurozone composite one also below last month as well. So that's broadly it on the data front. Richmond Fed Composite Index 18 expected down from 20. My chart today is the Aussie yen. Now, Aussie yen I always like to look at as a sort of a bit of a gauge for risk sentiment, and it's interesting that what we have at the moment is the yen strengthening despite the fact that risk appetite is broadly okay, and that yen strengthening is coming through the fact that the speculation that the Bank of Japan is ready to have a bit of a tweak of its yield curve control, allowing possibly the 10-year to fluctuate a little bit more, and that presumably would mean higher yields, steepening yield curve, and that has helped to strengthen the yen. That is the general theme, and that is pulling yen back down towards the bottom now of this sideways range that we've been in for 4 odd months, breaking that uptrend that we've been in the recovery phase, and now back below 82.60, which is the mid-range pivot, and back today below the near-term breakout, which was 82.10. So we are gathering momentum in this correction. Look at the MACD lines crossing lower. Look at the stochastics accelerating lower. RSI below 50. RSI tends to get sort of into the sort of mid-30s, doesn't it? So there is downside potential in this move. And you'd say that sort of between 82.10 and 82.60, that's a pretty decent sell zone, I would say now, on Aussie yen. You can see that the corrective move continues on the hourly chart as well, with this sort of more sort of negatively configured momentum taking shape. RSI pushing 30 and failing around the 50s. MACD lines failing underneath neutral. So it all sort of looks as though this is a market rolling over, and it all sort of shapes towards a possible retest of the lows, 80.70 down towards 80.50 in due course. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading, and I'll speak to you later.